Bollocks this evening, and we are in the
Bozard Ford Studio.
Damn right we are. And I got to tell you about the wonderful people at Bozard, but I want to let you know, we get a little tease right here. We have Ben 39 and we have White. So we're very excited about this. This is mine and Lenny's favorite show.
Absolutely.
And it's not that we love Irving so much. He actually brought in the brains of the operation. Katie is with us too. But I got to tell you about Bozard. Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford also has won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com.
Opposite the Castillo de San Marcos, which was built to defend the city from their raids, is the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, which houses the world's largest and most authentic collection of pirate artifacts curated by Pat Croce and the Croce family. Included in this collection are over 800 items exhibited in 40 immersive exhibits. It's the one of only 3 surviving Jolly Roger flags left in the world. See gold from Blackbeard's ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, and the blunderbuss he used to steal and keep it. See treasure chests and jewel-encrusted weapons, as well as memorabilia from Hook and other pirate-themed movies. There's a scavenger hunt designed for the younger guests to learn about pirate lore as they explore the museum, as well as a fully stocked gift shop. Put on an eye patch, grab your parrot as you experience the golden age of piracy located in downtown St. Augustine across from the fort.
All right. I got to share my show real quick here. Blake forgot to tell us.
I mentioned it to you.
Did you? Oh, I'm
did.
sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Can we go to the videotape, please? Oh.
No. Throw the flag. All right. Brightway Insurance. Since 2008, Brightway Insurance, the Casey agency, has been guiding St. Augustine through hurricanes, floods, fires, and more. Led by longtime local Ashley Casey, it is insurance done right the brighter way. No confusing jargon, no one-size-fits-all policy, just clear guidance, multiple quotes, and customized coverage that protects what matters most. With deep roots in the community and decades of experience, Ashley and his team make insurance simple, affordable, and personal. Visit them on the island at 108 Seagrove Main Street, or give them a call at 904-217-7547. Brightway, the brighter way to do insurance.
Experience the art of Italian dining at Saint, nestled in the heart of historic St. Augustine. From handmade pastas to rich risottos and indulgent tiramisu, every dish blends authentic Italian flavor with modern elegance. Sip a craft cocktail, savor a seasonal ingredient, and enjoy breathtaking views from their second-floor balcony or rooftop patio, where you can take in the bayfront and even spot the lighthouse on a clear day. At Saint, every meal is a celebration. Join us there and elevate your dining experience.
All right, guys, we got to tell you about other sponsors that we have here on Bollocks. And by the way, Ben 39 is our morning sponsor on the Stoidum. But, you know, I just can't wake up and drink wine in the morning. So I save Irving for my evening show. And Katie, thank you so much for coming in and brightening up the studio.
Thanks for having
But
me.
our other sponsors are Solar Stick, Bear Kreskin and Associates, Powell Heating and Air, Meehan's Irish Pub, 80 Davis Construction, St. Augustine Distillery and City Gates, A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing, Anastasia Diner, Moultrie Creek Diner, Mr. Electric, and we just appreciate all of them. They keep us on the air and let us have fun with wonderful businesses like Ben 39.
Exactly.
So
lots of fun.
Well, welcome in, guys. Irving, now you brought in some of the best wines I've ever had last time, so I'm hoping you can outdo yourself again this time. Your palate is very, very strong,
Yeah,
sir.
we went deep into the 7-Eleven cellars.
Woo! Going deep in the back cooler. In the back cooler. is where we're at.
Behind the Boone's Farm, we were able to find some really special things.
Well, I grew up in DeLand, so Country Quencher, and I don't even think Boone's Farm still does Country Quencher, was the first wine I had. So everything is uphill from Strawberry Hill and Country Quencher from Boone's Farm.
I remember Strawberry Hill.
Yeah, so, and then if you really stepped up, it was Mad Dog. So we're a step above Mad. Do you know these?
I'm just looking.
Do you know these wines?
I know all of them, but Mad Dog. I think.
Mad Dog 2020.
There wasn't an abundance of these wines in our house growing up.
Well, that's a beautiful thing for everyone involved. So, and Lenny, as a chef, did you have Boone's Farm?
It existed, but we were more into the almond den and the giant glass bottle that ended up being your penny reserve for years and years and years.
Oh, that was your wine.
Yeah, that was it. Or Leap for Milk. Leap for Milk.
Leap for Milk?
Yeah, like Blue Nun.
Yeah.
Blue Nun was a special one.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Matisse. But that was a rosé.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But we're going to move into better wines. We actually
Thank you so much.
We're stepping up the game here with Ben 39.
And we're going to transition quickly, and I'm sure everyone knows, and we might have talked about it in past visits, but the decision of Paris, 1976. A gentleman who was actually an Englishman who decided to prove that French wines were better than these new American wines. Came out to Napa Valley predominantly and brought back a bunch of wines and did a blind tasting with 10 very distinguished French judges. We're drinking the 2022, but the 1973 Chateau Montelena came in first place in the decision of Paris, beating out Puy Montrachet, and there was actually 4 French wines that scored second, third, and fourth, but this scored first. And when we were on our trip just recently, well, I was telling everyone we were getting ready to go out to California last time we visited. We went to a wonderful restaurant in Monterey called the Sardine Factory. And the Sardine Factory has probably the second best wine cellar in the country after Burned Steakhouse. And since I brought Katie and Lily with me, the Somm was very happy to show us the wine room.
Well, we were happy to see it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And in there was one of the remaining 11 bottles of the 1973 Chateau Montelena in a glass cage that nobody who works in the restaurant has access to opening up. Only the owner.
And if I'm remembering right, that bottle and then the one in the Smithsonian are the only two available to the public. The rest are all in private collections in people's homes. So those are the only two you can
that you
see.
can actually even put your eyes on.
Correct. And that was an invite down into the cellar. I mean, it was. He's saying Lily and I, but he did order a very nice bottle of wine that I think also opened the cellar key. But it was a team effort there.
And then Katie ordered a nice bottle of wine and treated her father to a wonderful dessert wine.
Oh, did we do a nice wine?
Yeah.
Shocking. It's my favorite. But it was cool to see.
But this is a very special wine, and the original winemaker, and for some reason the movie Bottle Shock, a lot of people are familiar with that movie. It's loosely the story, but in that movie they left out a little bit of a big deal. And that there's a gentleman named Mike Gergish, who is a very famous winemaker, and Mike Gergish happened to be the winemaker in 1973, making the Chateau Montelena. But somehow he was not a part of the movie. So I don't know what happened between Barrett's and Gergish, but something happened at some point, because I'm watching the movie and I know that Mike made the wine, because I had talked to him about that, and never made the
Never made it in the movie.
And I've never
Cutting
really
room floor.
Yeah.
What?
Cutting room floor.
I believe it was before then.
Yeah. It sounds like there might have been a little personality issue. All right, so this wine right here, we're going into the holidays. What would this wine pair with food wise? Like, or is this? I mean, it's great independently on its own, and my beer nuts is.
This
wonderful,
is actually a fabulous wine to have for Thanksgiving.
Mm.
The two most popular American wines for Thanksgiving are Chardonnay and Pinot Noir.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see a lot of wineries offering a combination. And it's what I bring every time we go to someone's house is I bring a red and I bring a really nice Pinot Noir like what we had last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bring a Chardonnay. And that they pair very well with turkey or traditionally salmon, which a lot of people don't know that salmon is part of the original Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, definitely fish would have been involved in our first Thanksgiving dinner here in St. Augustine for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it had been salmon. It would have been.
No, but up in New England, it was salmon.
Yeah.
And
I love a good smoked salmon.
Yeah, I don't know how you make it to Dunkin' with salmon.
But a wine like this, it's like you're saying, it's great for Thanksgiving. Would you have this with the meal, or is this an after dinner? Because you guys are all wine people. I'm more of a whiskey guy who's enjoying great wines right now.
I'll tell you how I drink wine.
Okay.
The answer to your question was yes.
Always yes. Okay.
I'd have this prior to the meal, during the meal, after the meal, but traditionally, this is really to pair with the dinner. So if you were going to do this and you were having the nice wine, it would be nice to set a couple nice bottles on the table, let people share it. You may have an aperitif or cocktails prior, then you'd have these nice wines, and then probably continue to drink wine, or maybe you could always look at something, maybe a sparkling wine, which would work well even before dinner.
That was exactly what I was going to say. We always start with bubbles, and then we switch to white and then red.
Okay. I like it.
So
that was kind of the pattern I was like, because I need to be coached.
Which is also how I drink, because he brings the bottles.
Yeah, that's how he opens them. How you drink. I like it.
Well, if you're at our house, we don't have to worry about the count.
You're not going to run out.
Yeah. We're not going to run out, but we're going to a friend's house for Thanksgiving, and I already know that I'm going to bring 2 bottles, and that's what I'm going to bring. I know these people, and so there will be bubbles prior, and there'll also be really good scotch, because these are a friend of ours who likes to drink scotch. So we'll have that.
It's not a terrible combination at all. So as you're preparing, how early do you have to open a bottle like this? I mean, because I know different bottles have to breathe a little bit longer than other bottles.
The white doesn't need a long time, but one of the big mistakes people make with white wine is they drink it too cold. A bottle of white.
He was over here trying to corral.
I actually took this out of the refrigerator at about 4:10.
Okay.
And so it's been now over an hour that it's warming up. But the ideal temperature to drink white wine, in my mind, is around 60 degrees. Okay. If you've ever ordered a wine and they put in the little silver thing on the table, you'll notice that the second glass of wine tastes better than the first, because what's happening is the wine is warming up. And just think of, like, if you're boiling water and as it gets hotter, it bubbles up. Well, it's happening at 60 degrees also, not as prevalent, but the bouquet is opening up and you're actually tasting more of the wine. The colder the wine is, the less it sort of closes up and you can't taste it. So if you're serving not very good wine, like we were talking about earlier, put it on ice.
The colder, you want that the cold, but
the colder the better.
This one you want the full flavors.
You really want to take the bottle of wine out and just sit it on the table for a half hour. Don't put it in a bucket of water and do that. On a red wine, ideally you want to drink it around 65 degrees.
Okay.
So you would open it up. Red wine tends to be older, bigger, so it needs air to open up, and it needs to escape from the bottle. It's been in there for a long time, and it's been active and growing. So if you let it open up, you'll get more air, and it will start becoming softer and more drinkable. But at the same time, you're allowing it to warm up.
I only have one wine cooler, and I keep it at around 63 degrees. Is that a good? Because I have red and white in there.
That's fine.
Is that okay?
That's totally fine. As long as you keep wine below 80 degrees and you keep it at a consistent number, you're going to be fine. For example, I have a lot of wines at home. We keep our air conditioning around 71, 72 at home. Mm-hmm. I have a bunch of wine on the racks, but it's always at 72 degrees.
Okay. So it's just the consistency is more important than
now
the actual
I take
temperature.
the better wines because I have 3 big wine refrigerators, and all of those are
Only
stored
3?
at home. And I have all of those wines stored at 55 degrees, which is technically the number that you want to store wine at. And the wine lasts the longest, matures the best at that temperature. But if you kept your wine at 70 degrees, it will be fine for a long, long time. It doesn't have to be at 55. But you don't want to have it 55 today, 80 tomorrow, 70 the next day. If you're going to do that, if you go away and you turn your air on to 80, you're better off taking that wine, putting it in a dark closet in a box, and not letting it have sunlight. And there's a good chance that closet will have this variation of a temperature as the middle of the house.
And I heard a term called castle temperature when I kind of tried my wine stage in life, and I went back to my whiskey stage again. But at castle temperature, I thought it was somewhere between 55 and 65.
And I've always heard this. I've never heard the castle temperature, but cellar temperature, I've always been told, is the typical cellar in Europe was 55 degrees.
Okay.
So I think it's probably one and the same concept.
Yeah.
Just called a different thing.
Yeah. I probably remembered it. It sounded cooler to me to call it castle temperature. So, I'm going to let you move to the next wine, but I want to ask Katie about the new thing you have. You have the bodega at Ben 39, with the pop-ups, and explain to us what the bodega is and how that is even a bigger reason to come to Ben 39. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We're super, super excited about it's called the Bin 39 Bodega, and it technically opened this past Friday on the 14th, but we didn't really get started till opening night of Lights. But a couple of different reasons for it is our bar gets very, very busy during this time of year, and we have a lot of people that are just stopping by to either buy a bottle or grab a glass of sangria before they head into town. So this is going to be just a grab and go kind of bodega retail shop, whatever you want to call it, but we'll have featured wines by the glass. It is a daily menu, so it might be the same sometimes. It might change up. We might have some random cases that we order and sell through that day. And then we're also doing grab and go charcuterie. I know a lot of times during Nights of Lights, people have a hard time finding somewhere to eat or a lot of wait for restaurants. So this is a quick little grab and go. We'll have snacks. We also did a lot of different retail for everyone's holiday shopping that will be in within the next. Most of it's here and the rest is coming within the next week, but some limited runs of some really nice jackets. We've got really limited edition coffee mugs for both the hotel and bar. So we're really excited about that, but it's you cannot miss it if you are on the corner of Spanish Street and Talamato. It's just on the other side of our actual bar. It's actually our event space, but we turned it into this, and it has more Christmas lights than I think even the town square. So yeah, it's a nice photo opportunity. But
there's no such thing. There's no such thing as too many
I don't know.
Christmas lights.
I spent the whole week hanging on, but it was really fun. But we're excited, and it's also going to help with hopefully some of the lines that you guys normally see at Ben during the holiday to get as many people in the door as possible.
Have you not seen our Hilton?
Okay, it's not as many lights as that, but it's pretty close.
But there's not a number that's too many, is what I'm saying.
No. We're right in theme. We were very happy we were allowed to put all the lights up. But yeah, so it's an extension. If it works well for this holiday season, we'll continue it. We might have a few other things up our sleeve we're trying to, make happen last minute. So
yeah, but for our loyal people out there, they're looking for a place to actually shop and still support local and buy local. I mean, this bodega sounds really, really amazing.
Yeah, and in addition to our retail, we're a package store at Ben, and so the bodega will be as well. So we'll have some bottles in there, but if it's any bottle off our wine list, I won't have all of them chilled. But if you're just buying any to take home, we can get you anything off our menu too, so you don't have to go in the bar when the line's long. You can come see us in there. I'll be there every Friday and Saturday night, and then some of our team will be there the rest of the week too.
All right. So in our ad in the morning, we always say, I'll have what Irving's having. Okay. But how is your palate similar to your dad's, or is
it actually is? It started more in I liked different things, but I drink the big bold reds with him. If he likes the wine, I'm going to like it too. So it can go in terms with either one or what's Irving drinking, but he's the reason for my wine habit. So.
Before we move on to the next one, what was the vintage on the Chateau Montelena?
This one, this is a 2022.
All right, Irving, you did a fine job of serving, and you did an excellent job, Katie, of explaining that bodega. So what do we have now?
So we're staying in the movie theme.
In the movie theme, okay.
Okay. And we wanted to, we actually, this package that's right in front of Katie here is called Sideways.
Okay.
And Sideways is a little bit of a play on both Bottle Shock and the movie Sideways.
It's called a Sideways Bottle Shock is the name of the package.
Sideways Bottle Shock.
So actually I was wrong.
But you know your wine.
Right. But so one of the things, and we might have talked about this at one point, but in the movie Sideways, it was all about Pinot Noir, and in that movie Merlot got clobbered because Miles, who's the character, who's Paul Giamatti, played that part, said, I don't let me have any FN Merlot or something like that. And that statement cost the wine industry probably $10 billion.
Oh, wow.
In that Merlot went off. Wow. It was seen as an inferior wine. And the truth be known, lousy Merlot is worse than lousy Cab.
Gotcha.
But good Merlot is a superstar. So he didn't want to drink any Merlot. But the truth in the movie is, at the end of the movie, Miles has come to realization that his ex-wife is gone and she's married and she's going to have a baby and everything, and she's happy. And he finally opens up his prized possession, which is a bottle of 1961 Cheval Blanc, which is considered, it's a Merlot blended with Cab Franc, but it is considered one of the finest wines in the world ever, the 1961. And one of the last scenes in the movie is he's in a fast food restaurant drinking this Merlot out of a styrofoam cup.
Oh, my gosh.
And so his favorite wine is actually Merlot, but it went over just about everyone who was watching the movie.
They didn't watch it to the end.
No, well, most people would think a Cheval Blanc was probably a white wine anyhow.
Yeah, because of the Blanc.
But a Cheval Blanc Petite is actually a white wine.
Gotcha.
Okay, but not Cheval Blanc. That is a red, and it is predominantly Merlot with some Cab Franc. So in honor of that movie, we're drinking a Merlot from Napa Valley.
Mhm.
And this is not a lousy one. This is a very good one from Kennard Winery. And this is what Merlot is supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
And I've never been a big Merlot fan, primarily even California Merlots. But then every now and again, I flash back to Bordeaux's and Grand Cru Bordeaux's, and the best wines in the world, predominantly, are Merlots. So I always, I prefer the blends as opposed to the standalone vintages, And for years, I would give my wife a very high-end, very wonderful bottle of Merlot for our anniversary. I gave her a Lafite Rothschild for a wedding present, and we moved on from there. Once again, I have spoiled her and taught her the finer things in life. And she appreciates that.
So it's not Merlot?
No, you can have as much as you want.
It's a Merlot?
Yeah, you can have as much as you want. Right.
But it is probably the most important grape for blending of Bordeaux's.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It is.
And this is technically a blend, but I think it's between 90 and 93% Merlot. So, I mean, it is a Merlot, but, there's always some little grapes.
A little bit of
Rounded it out a touch.
A little bit of blend.
Just take the edge off.
Nothing wrong with a good blend.
It's really good.
No, this is really good.
And this is from Kennard Wineries, which is a really great winery in Napa Valley, right there, right on the 50-yard line. And they do all organic farming. They do not organic. They do not water. They have no
in part of the winery, the original part, and then some they do, but the Zin vines are the ones they don't do. They do no irrigation on.
Wow.
It's however nature
whatever-
decided
whatever.
it's going to happen that year.
And Zinfandel likes
that-
stress.
That makes it a good year and a bad year, and because of those seasons.
Yeah,
because
they
they're
refuse.
not forcing the water to it.
This winery has such integrity that during the fires and the grapes were not up to snuff, they didn't release wine that year.
Wow.
They did they got grapes from somewhere else and did like a tribute to that for the year. So it's pretty cool. But we got to go out there 2 wine trips ago.
Mm.
Yeah.
2 or 3. This is fun.
So it's same question. This Merlot, what would you put it with? What meal would you say would be my go-to meal if I'm having this wine?
This
Or is this a sitting on the porch wine, which is completely fine too?
no this
judgment,
would,
Katie. No
again,
judgment sitting on the porch.
I would look at a Merlot that it's nice Merlot as to bring into a group that has mixed quality people who some people really like wine, some people sort of like wine because it's rounder, it's a little softer, but it's still bold. So it'll hold up if you're having a steak or something like that, but it's not going to overwhelm someone who is used to drinking a little bit softer wine. And so it's a very good wine to bring if you're going as a guest somewhere and you don't know what the palate is of all the customers, all the people there.
It's kind of a universal.
It's more universal, and a lot of cabs that people really like. And you only need 70 to 75% cab, depending on where it's made, to be called a cab, are blended with Merlot to soften and round them up. So Merlot is a very friendly wine to the palate.
And I'm wondering, since you've come in the last 2 times, I'm wondering if my palate's kind of softening a little bit, because I was always a real hearty wine, but I mean, it might be just the quality. I wasn't really a Chardonnay person at all. And you kind of, the last couple of Chardonnays you brought in, it's like, oh, maybe I am a Chardonnay person. I just didn't know I was a Chardonnay person.
You just didn't have good Chardonnay.
I think that might be with the Giovanni thing. It was like, it was just not a quality.
Right.
Have you ever thought maybe you're a closet wine snob?
I'm actually pretty sure I'm a snob in everything. But I think.
Saying I also like bourbons and whiskeys, so it comes.
Yep.
It comes in pairs.
Yeah. Yes. So, and I'm definitely a bourbon snob,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't surprise me that if I was a a wine snob at all.
And may I add to this? We're doing in the bodega, and we have them available in the bar as well. But these are, and we'll talk about the other one when we do wine. But these are holiday pack duos that we're doing. We brought 2 today. There will be some more, but it's this. That is really what it's for. Is if you're bringing a gift or if you're going to a dinner party and you don't really know what to do, we've put some of these together for you. And next to them on the shelves, there's also little printouts that have some explanation in case you're not super familiar with the wines and you want to bring them. But it's a conversation starter for dinner. You can talk about the movies, the pack. The other pack has a totally different story that my dad will talk about in a minute. But just some fun things. And then if you don't want to do the packs while we're in there, come see us and we'll help you pick out other bottles of wine. I will tell anyone that's listening, because we'll probably announce them next week, but I've got a pretty limited run of some really special Chardonnay and Pinot Noir for Thanksgiving packs. They're going to be it's a wine that I can't get in anymore, so I have probably 10, and when they're gone, they're gone. But we'll announce those next week on our socials. If you don't follow us, it's at Bin 39 Wine on both Facebook and Instagram.
All right. All right, and you guys do live music almost every single day.
Yeah,
and
so
that's gotta be hard. Who's doing that booking?
So Lily Murphy is my bar manager as well as our entertainment manager, and she really she's holding down the fort there. She actually came on this last wine trip with us, which was really fun. So she's learning a ton about wine too. But Lily helps me as well as alongside Irving pick all of the wines, but she's really developed a great palate too. And then she also she hates when we tell her that, but she's a musician herself too, and she hasn't played yet at the bar, but one day she might. But she books all of the music, but she also really has that ear for it as well, because it's what she does. But she does a killer job. We've had music every day for the last month, but now with Nights of Light starting, it's music 2 times a day, every single day, unless the weather rains it out, which at least this time of year doesn't happen too often. But we'll have somebody from 1 to 4 every day, and then 4 to 7.
Yeah, because on the music report, I mean, we put you guys out there, and I was like, they're double dipping.
Yeah, so we always do that this time of year. It's great. And then we put in a wonderful house sound system about 2 years ago, and so it pipes into our other patio, which is the bodega. So even if you're sitting over there, you might not be able to see the musician, but you'll still be able to hear it all as well. So yeah, that courtyard is fun this time of year. There's a lot going on.
Well, and tell us a little bit about the menu that you have too, because we went, what was it, 2 months ago?
Oh, we had a great time.
We had an amazing night there, and we were shocked by the menu you guys had.
Well, thanks for bringing that up, because it brings me into something new and exciting we're doing. But I'll start with the existing wine bar menu. So after 11 a.m. every day, in addition to our wine list, which is the biggest part of our menu, we carry at any given time anywhere between 100 and 140 wines, and with the exception of 4 wines on the menu, we do everything but by the glass, which is pretty unheard of. We Corbin everything. We use both their traditional system, the restaurant system, as well as their sparkling system for champagnes, which keeps the wine fresh, which is fun to do. We do tasting flights, which everyone loves. It's 4 samples of different wines. We just refreshed them for Nights of Light, so new menu. We've got some wine-based spritzers, and then we do charcuterie, which is what everyone really loves. So we've got a couple of different meat and cheese charcuterie boards. We actually cut all the salami and prosciutto in-house, so kind of upped our game on that, and the different cheeses, a couple other snacks as well. But we're really excited about the St. Georgian, which we're attached to, if anyone's not familiar with that. Bin 39 doubles as our breakfast space for our hotel guests, but we've actually just switched from a complimentary continental breakfast to, we've upgraded our kitchen, and we have a full breakfast menu now. So really excited about that. It's from 8 to 10:30 every day. It's got items we do a build your own breakfast sandwich items, some other ones on there, bagels, lox and bagels, all sorts of fun stuff. And one thing that everyone has been asking for forever, and I've said no to every guest, but we finally said yes, but it's during breakfast only, is bottomless mimosas. So you can get that from 8 to 10:30 just in the morning, but for locals, it's a great time to be down there. And then we've got a wine-based Bloody Mary on the menu, because I refused to put one on, but I finally found a good wine-based vodka that I actually, I don't even want to say because it's hard for me, but I do like it, and but it's very good. So you can come and do that and sit out in the courtyard and kind of start your day down there. So if you're trying to get down there early to get a good parking spot, come hang out for breakfast and before you go walk around.
That's awesome.
And then that's kind of what we got going on for there. But we'll have 8 to 8 every single day.
Makes for a long day, but
It's fun though. It's a good time. This is game time, so we're here for everyone. But
exactly.
excited with the addition of breakfast. It's going really well.
Now, I know that you can get $5 bottles of wine and $5,000 bottles of wine.
Sure.
But what's the price point on some of the wines we're saying today, if you don't mind?
Yeah, absolutely. A little all over the board. I should know. I know the pack prices off the top of my head, but these bottles are more in the 70. Oh, because that one's I'd say between 60 and 125 or so.
You're
In
treating
that,
us to the good stuff, so we appreciate
so we're a little
that.
bit there.
Right.
The Thanksgiving packs we're going to make.
That doesn't matter anymore.
Little higher than boots.
Right.
Yeah. So
This
these
is what
packs
we
are a little
drink.
bit higher,
Yes,
but
as you should.
we definitely have some that the Thanksgiving pack's going to be a little less expensive, and then we have bottles of wine starting at $35. So we will happily help you out. And as always, bottles are 20% off our listed price, whether you guys have one there or in the bar. So pretty fun. But if you come in and just kind of tell us your budget too, we'll pick you out something that works for everyone.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about wine is you can get some really good nowadays. There's such great winemakers
Absolutely.
out there that you can get fair price bottles of wine that are really good quality wines. You don't have to go for the $130 bottle of wine.
Absolutely. We have our everyday wines, and there's some really great ones on the menu for that too.
And
then
Lily and
special.
Katie have done a really good job of finding the under the radar wines that outdrink the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in fact, that was part of our whole trip this time, and we brought in a bunch of new wines that people are going to be very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I think we just put 18, maybe more new wines on the menu, 4 nights of lights. And a lot of them were from our most recent trip and then had them in. But I mean, there's some killer stuff on there. This is the most excited we've ever been about the wine list. So
And that's wonderful too, because when I was cultivating my wine list for my restaurants, everybody knew the price of, at that point in time, the rage wine was the Santa Margarita Pinot Grigio.
Sure.
And everybody
It still
knew
is.
it still is. It's still on the
Okay.
menu, but I'll
I
take
know,
them.
but everybody knows the price point of that.
Exactly.
And it was Kendall Jackson, and everybody knew the price point of that.
Right.
So I wasn't putting either of those on my wine list as a point of comparison.
Because they go, I can get this at Publix for one. I'm like, okay,
Absolutely.
well, you're not at Publix. I'm sorry.
Right. And it's not being served in a glass to you. You're not getting service. Somebody's not opening it. Somebody's not storing it. So there's a whole distinction between what you can get in a package store and what you're going to pay for on a wine list. And people understand that there's costs involved in you providing as a licensed premises that wine to the public, that they shouldn't immediately knee jerk to what the cost of the wine's going to be.
Yeah. And our business model is a tiny bit different than some of your full service high end restaurants. We're
yeah.
somewhere in between the two. It's not going to be the same if you can find it in a wine shop, but we also try not to bring in wines that are in a wine shop. There's a handful of them on our menu. There's going to be
there
about
have
20
to,
or
because
so.
it's familiarity for people.
Exactly. But most of them you're not going to find in the local stores anyway. You might find them in some specialty shops, that type of thing. But
And that's fun too, because then you're also educating the public and you're offering them something that they might not have come across on their own, because if they're looking
Absolutely.
at the flashing lights and the
Right.
fancy deals, it might be a drinkable wine, but it's not going to educate them or turn them on to something that they might not have known
Sure.
before.
And that's why we do everything by the glass, because we want someone to try a glass of the mall and say, oh, I've never heard of this, and then had it. And then when they're out for their anniversary at Capitol Grill, they'll go down the list and they said, oh, this is a special night. There's the mall. I remember that one. And they'll order a bottle.
Right.
So we're really trying to elevate the experience and let people, try new things. I had a couple, and I think it was on Saturday I was talking to them, and they were really sweet, and they were getting excited, and somehow religion came up, and I said, okay, you're going to have some Chateauneuf de Pape Blanc. And I said, you know what that means? They said, yes, that's the Pope. I said, you're absolutely right. We're going to celebrate, and I'm going to give you a taste of the Pope's new house wine. And they were like all excited, and they walked out of there saying, that's our new favorite.
Well, the Pope's from Chicago now, so
Right.
Yeah, so we're going to do it.
You serve it
So
with
we're
the
going to
Chicago
start.
dog and
Well,
Malort's on the side.
he's drinking old style now.
No, I think it's Stroh's. I think he's a sophisticated guy.
stepping up.
Pardon me.
Stepping up. All right, so I have now tried this one. Now you're getting really into where my palate's at right now. So I need to know about this one right here.
Well, this is a combo.
Okay.
And we brought this because this is a father-daughter situation.
Okay.
I was like, you
And
didn't invite me? I'm coming.
So we're
You're
going
opening that one.
we're going to
I'm
start with the wine we're not drinking, so
Okay.
you can understand who the father is,
Okay.
and then we'll jump into the one we're going to try first, which is the daughter. This is Paul Hobbs,
Okay.
and Paul Hobbs is one of the 5 top winemakers in the United States, maybe the top.
Okay.
You know, you can argue if it's Philippe Melka, Thomas Brown. There's a bunch of them that are there. But if you were going to hire Paul Hobbs as a consultant to help you with your winery, not to make your wine, but just to help your guy, you can't get him for less than $250,000 a year.
Wow.
It's good to be king.
Wow.
There was an article about Paul Hobbs in Forbes in 2013, and they did a whole feature on him, and they referred to him as the Steve Jobs of Napa.
We were just at a wine luncheon the other day that was a Malbec, and they're like, it's one of the few Malbecs that Paul Hobbs hasn't consulted on in this area. So, I mean, if that gives you an idea that he's everywhere.
He
He's
basically
the
put
measuring
Malbec
stick.
Right.
back on the map
Right.
in Argentina.
Okay.
He went to Cal Berkeley for his master's, and on his website is a picture of him with his college buddy, a guy named Robert Mondavi.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that guy.
Yeah. And he grew up, Paul Hobbs grew up in New England, and he on a farm, an apple farm. And so he learned how to farm there. He went to Notre Dame as an engineer. Then he got his master's at Cal Berkeley. And his buddy, who was his college roommate, the family was just starting this new project that was a joint venture between Mondavi and Rothschild. You know this answer.
Opus One.
Opus One.
I've had
And
a couple
Paul
of Hobbs in
Hobbs
my
was
day.
the first winemaker for Opus One.
Okay.
He was the founding winemaker for the Mondavi family.
Wow.
And so that's where he got his start. And then he went into others. And a few years later, there's now a Paul Hobbs vineyard. But we went to a place, Katie didn't get to go to this one. This was probably 10 years ago. It was called Checkerboard, if I remember. And I found out about this place because it was on the Dean and DeLuca favorites wine list.
Okay.
And for people who don't know who Dean and DeLuca is, it was like the gourmet grocery store in New York City. And 15, 20 years ago, it was like Burdock, Burdock's or something.
Goodman, yeah.
Yeah, something like that from a grocery store. And to get on their preferred list is an impossible thing. So I go there, and the cheapest wine, probably 10 years ago, was $400. And it was the nicest winery I've ever been to that, it's amazing what you can do for $100 million. It's that type of place. And so I said, well, who are the owners? They said, well, it's Steven Spielberg and some of his friends, and they just all put in $10 million, and they hired Paul Hobbs to make their wine so they could say, would you like some of my wine? Paul Hobbs made it. They weren't even that serious about selling or not.
They just wanted to kind of show off.
They
to their
just
friends.
wanted to have the best of the best, and it was extraordinary cabs. It was, it was marvelous.
So this
stuff.
is a cab.
So this is made by Paul Hobbs' daughter.
Oh, okay. So that's the daughter.
And
okay.
so Paul Hobbs and his daughter, who's probably around 30, I think her name is Augusta.
Is it on the sheet?
Yeah.
It starts with an A.
Yeah, it's Augusta
No,
or
it's
Augusta.
not Alexis. That's a different winemaker's daughter.
Yeah. So she's in her 30s and she's making this quality.
Augustina.
Augustina.
There you go.
Okay. Very similar to
And
St. Augustine.
Yeah, maybe she's Catholic and the first name's Saint. No.
Yeah. But the wine brand is ALH, which I believe is her initials, so that's what it's on there. I don't think she wanted the Hobbs name fully on there. Like she wanted it to stand on her
She
own a little
wanted a
bit.
Meeple baby, right?
Yeah.
I think she did okay.
And we're really excited about this one too, because when we tried it, I was like, "This is really good." And they're like, "Yeah, she doesn't want it in big bar. Like it's a hand select of where it is. So small places like Bin or small wine shops, you're not going to find this one anywhere big. The Paul Hobbs, you will. Like you can find that at Total Wine, that type of thing. Not always, not every set. You're not going to find it in like the grocery store or anything like that. But that is a more well-known wine. But his daughters, you're not going to find anywhere. That just came out this year too.
But that comes
so
back.
we went from sideways to father and
Yeah,
father
so
and daughter.
two
And
different
this
types
is the
of stories.
Yeah,
You
so
can
it's
bring.
two great stories here. But she's only in her 30s and she's making quality wine like this.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Guess her dad taught her well.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't.
That's how that works.
And this is from Coombsville in Napa, and really good area. And Robert Parker had said that Paul Hobbs, how did he put it? I got to remember. It was something he like a truffle hunting dog.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Hobbs has that same nose, and he can find the perfect land to grow wine like a truffle hunting dog, is what I read by Robert Parker. So that's a sideways really good compliment, because Robert Parker is
As far as ratings go, he's like one of the top-notch guys,
he's
right?
probably the most knowledgeable guy.
Mm-hmm.
And while he was probably half joking, that's a nice compliment that wherever he grows his wines, he does an awesome job. He picks the right places to grow wine, and he knows what he's doing.
So it seems like it's a very limited wine.
Yes.
So it's very kind of specific. In town, it's probably you guys and maybe one other, or I mean, it might just be you guys. Is the only place you can get this wine.
I haven't seen it anywhere else. You may find it at a couple of the little wine shops in Jacksonville, but
ALH.
probably won't see it.
And
too
what's
many
the
places
vintage
like
on
that.
this?
22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the same as the Chateau Montelena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is drinking a little bit early.
A little early, but it's a little bit lighter than the next one we're gonna drink. So you'll see kind of the comparison
I'm
when we
liking
go.
that statement right there already. So
This is the one I want to eat, like pepper and steak and just wine. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think
but
I've told Irving this. I'm kind of an Arboroni, old school.
love that too.
A meaty wine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am
that's
too,
a
but
good thing.
I love a lot of whites too. So I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of good white wines. But
The late
Not to
Mike
be safe
Hyatt.
for Burgundy.
The late Mike Hyatt
Uh-huh.
from
when I started doing my
Collage.
somm training, I was
You-
like,
you-
oh, I do
you
like
know
white
him?
wine.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
About 5 years ago,
Now I
it's
have a problem.
probably longer than that. It's probably about 6-7 years ago. I have a wine group that we go to different restaurants and have wine dinner, and we invited Mike to join us. And it was the first time I met him, and I said, okay, I always bring a nice bottle of wine. I said, I'll bring a Paul Hobbs.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it down on the table, and Mike, who's a real foodie, looked at that and says, oh, we're having that last.
That's the cleanup hitter for sure.
See, but that was always my issue with drinking really good wine. And you take it in the glass and you taste it and you go, this is really good. And then by the time you get to the second glass, you're wondering, is it really good or am I buzzed?
Yeah.
And it's tough to tell sometimes, because as you drink a little bit more wine, a lot of them tend to get a lot better. I mean, they've opened up a little bit more. We talked about earlier. but it's just, it's some of it's the illusion, and some of them are just, I mean, I've had wines that, you know, in the first sip have floored me, absolutely knocked me on my ass because they were just that outstanding. I mean, I still remember an Australian Shiraz called Chateau Telvilque that I drank 30 years ago, and it's still one of the most, it was like drinking velvet curtains, and it made such an impression. It's just, you know, it's tough to tell sometimes.
Yeah. And there's some wines too that those are wines you'll want to always order and want to do. And
well, it's subjective. I mean, everybody's palate is slightly different.
Sure.
Yeah,
So it's tough to figure out what's going on.
Perfect.
Yeah. But then when you drink with a memory too,
Right,
it gets,
right. Oh,
we
yeah.
all do it. Too.
No.
But that's the fun part of if you see something on the wine list
That's what Dad was saying.
Exactly. Yeah. So I have to look at a wine list every time I go somewhere, even if I'm not ordering wine.
Sure.
Because sometimes I'm like, I've had so much wine, I just want a drink, but I always ask for the wine list. And it's fun as your wine education continues, how many you start to recognize on a wine list and doing that there. So when we were building this wine list this time around, because I knew more, I scoured a ton of wine lists in Florida because then I knew they'd be distributing in Florida. And we were able to get some of those in and some ideas, which was fun too. So I took them all from like South Florida, so no one here has them. But
You don't want a point of comparison.
well, I was starting at the top, and then I went from there. So
Well, there's a couple
thank you. Oh, thank you for the nice
wine
pour.
companies that actually are sort of retail, but they specialize in South Florida for only going on multi-million-dollar yachts.
Okay, so they have an exclusive exclusive destination for the wine before it even starts.
And but there are companies in Palm Beach and in Boca and in Miami that are basically wine stores for high-end yachts.
Wow.
And you just pick up and say, hello, you know, like, what's the below deck?
Yeah.
Hi, we need like 3 cases.
Captain Sandy lives right here in town.
She
I know.
does. She lives in Nocatee, right?
Yeah. So, so Katie, you grew up in a wine family.
I did.
So you've kind of always had. I had to learn.
Yeah. I don't think I really started really wine until
I had to learn my palate of wine.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not a sweet guy. I'm not that's
Sure.
I kind of, you are what you drink, I guess. Because I'm not a sweet guy. I'm kind of a grizzled guy, and it's sad but true. I'm always the bad guy. Like I told Irving yesterday, I'm the bad guy. No, I'm the mean one.
I'm off the hook. Yeah,
no, I'm the mean one to you. You're still the kind and giving guy, and I'm the mean one to you. But but you grew up in a family that of having wine and having this. How do you think that's helped you where you're at today with the business?
Sure. I don't think I really started drinking good wine, at least until probably my mid-20s, late 20s, probably that. Before I went to Flagler here and all of that, and there was good wine around. I just, for lack of a better, I didn't care at that point.
Yeah. What can I afford? Yeah.
Or it was.
Yeah, those places on the beach that had dollar night weren't serving.
Right.
You went to Sink or Swim at
Sink or
Panama
Swim does
Hattie's.
not-
All
Yeah,
right.
I did this.
Don't judge, sink or swim.
Listen, on my 22nd birthday, my dad took us to dinner at Cellar 6, Not Forgotten Tonic, and then we all went to Sink or Swim after, and it was like 4 of my girlfriends and I. My dad came, and he handed the bouncer a $100 bill, which buys you 800 entries into Sink or Swim. And the bouncer pulled me to the side. They're like, Katie, are you okay? Who is this man that's with you? I was like, it's my dad. And I think he stayed through half a beer before he called a taxi home, but he went to one Sink or Swim.
I probably was at the door because it's usually on Friday night. I had trivia, and then
I was never there.
No, never.
I'm happy to live on the beach without those bars now. It's nice. Dunes is still right down the street,
Yeah.
but Tides, whatever it's called
Right,
now.
Yeah.
It'll always be Dunes.
Right.
But yes, then as I started, I followed. I said I'm going to do anything but hospitality, which I've been in my entire career. So when I was you're right, when I was out of school, Dad got me a interview at Hyatt, and then here I am. All these years later, I've never left hospitality, but worked throughout. But I lived in New Mexico for about 8 years and worked for a hotel company out there, which did do quite a bit with wine and dinner. So kind of started there, but wasn't fully paying attention. And then when I got back to Ben, I moved back in 2020 and I knew the business side of the bar because I had been out doing sales in corporate America. I planned conventions and did the sales side of that for a long time. So I knew the sales side. I didn't know the wine as well. And then two summers ago, I think, I don't know. I studied for my first level of my my sommelier training, so took that. But that's when I really started to fully pay attention. I knew a little bit, but then I started to get excited. Now, I mean, I still have so much to learn, but I'm starting to recognize the names and the appellation. And
that is not an easy test by any stretch of the imagination.
She really did very well, and her eyes were much wider on this trip to California.
He noticed a big difference.
Yeah, because we went
really knew.
a year and a half or a year ago earlier, and she enjoyed it and was fun. And they're being really nice to us and giving us really good stuff. Yep. But this time they came back, with copious notes and said, "Okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do this." And
that's where the bodega stemmed from. And as soon as Nights of Lights is over, we're gonna and something Irving's want. We've always done group tastings, but we want to basically do tastings that you'll be able to book up to basically like 48 hours in advance or day of if there's already one happening.
It will actually be something like this where you just sit down
and taste and talk.
You can get a small group and come, and we'll just talk about wine for a couple hours, and we'll drink some really good stuff and make it a nice
You just planned my birthday party.
He goes, "When are you going to start this? December?" I go, "No." January, I don't know, give me like a week or two to clean up. But no, I just can't pull a bartender off of that for 2 hours during Nights of Lights. But the rest of the year, we absolutely will.
You can count the 904 crew.
In for that.
In for that.
But yeah, we'll do it like that. And then we're even toying with if somebody wants to do a birthday party or something. Dad's offered, and I'd go with him, but we'll do it at your home or at a dinner party, that type of thing as well. So.
Ooh, you do it at my house, I'll cook.
Oh,
hot damn, that'll work.
There you go.
Sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, so that will be coming next year, but we're excited about that. So that's our big 2026 push. And then we have a couple of different locations for the tasting at work too. So there will be different levels of ones you can do.
Awesome.
It's kind of fun.
All right, we have about 5 minutes left, and we got to talk about this.
We got to talk about
I snuck a sip.
The big one.
I snuck a sip, and this one's.
This one's we finally found you.
This is right in my wheelhouse, right here.
Well, this is quite a special wine, and as I mentioned, this is actually made from the Paul Hobbs Winery by Paul Hobbs.
Ooh.
So the label right here, it's also in Coombsville. And this is...
It's an appellation I'm not familiar with. An area in Napa that I don't know.
They have really good wines there. And what was I going to say? So this, Paul Hobbs this is his everyday really, really good cab. And then he has like 5 different ones. He has like from Birkenstock to Cologne and those, which is like the best vineyard there is. It just doesn't get any better than that. He does that. There are so many boutique wineries that he's been involved with. It's basically him and a gentleman named Philippe Malka that the very, very affluent hire to make their small, less than 1,000 cases of wine type wineries where they may make 3 or 4 wines. I have a bottle of some wines from an old associate of mine who hired Philippe Melka. He always wanted to live in Napa Valley and opened it up. Scott Delatio Wines. His cabs are like $225 a piece, and they got like 98 points. And so I have a bunch of that sitting in the wine fridge. I've never tried it. I have no idea, but I suspect it will be really good.
And what's the vintage on this?
This is a 21.
Okay. All right, so this Paul Hobbs on that Robert Parker scale, where would this fall?
Well, he'd fall into his beloved category on a number. This probably is around a 94, 95. I
don't understand how it's not 100. I'm loving this one.
This is
Oh, you
about,
like the most expensive wine on
This is-
the tasting.
I'm a snob.
This is his about $150 bottle of wine. He has $500 bottles of wine. That
Hey, if they increase equally in that value, I don't know how that's even possible.
I had the pleasure of going to a tasting in Orlando 3 or 4 years ago, and Paul, he had all of the Argentinian stuff, and he's doing stuff in Europe. He had all his different wines, but then he had a station with all of these, all the way up to like the $700 bottles, and you could get the library stuff. I had so much to drink that it was my first stop at Buc-ee's on the way back.
well, I can tell you right now, and I don't know if wine is like this, and you drank enough wine, but I've had bourbons that were like $2,500 bourbons,
Right?
And
Happy?
yeah, and yeah,
That's a good one.
20 year, and I have enjoyed bourbons that were $120 bourbons.
Yeah.
Equally as much as that, and it's more about the.
Yeah.
But I don't know if wines actually fall in this. I don't know.
No, this is.
I don't
This
know
is,
if I've had a better wine.
this
than
is
right now.
outstanding, and this is on our cab wine tasting.
Wow.
So you can get a 2-ounce pour of this. 4 wines that are.
The full body
Yeah.
Cabernet Light.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we want to expose people to really good things, and I don't think we've ever had a person not be like, "Ooh, that ball hop is really good."
Yeah.
Yeah, the only people that don't like it is because they're not there yet on their palate. They're like, it's a little too strong. But I guarantee
And
if you
this
ask them in like 3 or 4 years, they'll like it.
And this is very soft. This
Yeah.
is not overly
No.
tannic.
It's not too-
This is
No.
not. This is
But that's
not.
also why this pack, the father-daughter, would be good for if you're going to a party that you don't really know people's taste, because the hers is a little bit lighter too. So you
Yeah,
could
without
have
a doubt.
well, you could have both on that as
Yeah.
well. So
No,
I think we're gonna have you guys come back because there's so many questions that I haven't asked that I think will help educate our viewers a little bit more and give you an opportunity to share your infinite knowledge with our viewers, because I wanted to talk to you about some of the vintages we're talking about. These seem a little bit young for reds that we're drinking. So my question is, are reds drinking earlier now out of California? Or, I mean, because it's 2 or 3 years and a lot of them, are able to be laid down for years.
yeah.
Well, it becomes that's a complicated question because
That's why we need more time and another visit.
That's why I looked at you. I was like, how do you want to answer this?
the quick
Not afraid to answer
answer
that question.
is this: we have to buy everything through a distributor,
Right.
and this super older library stuff
Is that his house?
goes
has to
to
be private.
is
Did I mention I'll
private
cook?
purchases,
'Cause you can't
and
buy
we
it through
cannot
distribution.
get those through this
Right.
distributors. Occasionally, like the
Ooh, we have a fun story for tomorrow on that. So it's a distributor, it's a wine club that we're a part of, but they don't distribute to very many people, but they decided to reach out, and we have a meeting tomorrow because they want us to carry their wine in the bar, the good stuff that other people can't get because they asked us.
You got to let us know so we can get that word out.
I will.
And Katie,
When
where-
I pick the wines tomorrow,
And-
like,
Well,
Katie, where
if you're-
are you at with your sommelier?
I need to do level 2, which is all I actually am going to go for. Most people don't go for 3 and 4. That's a lot. There's not very many master
So
songs
you
in the whole
level
world.
once you get to level
It's
2,
the
you're gonna
blind
be-
tasting, and I need to. 2026 is going to be my focus on making sure I do it properly, because I could go there and do my best, but I'm scared. And plus, it's like $1,000 every time they take the test, so I want to be ready for it.
See, I don't think I could ever pass because I have a bad sniffer. My taste buds
see.
seem to be great, but I have a bad.
I'm just a
sniffer.
bad test taker, so I'm sure I could
Oh,
know
so
the
you
wine
stress out
fully.
over it.
Because
Yeah.
you have to. The other part was a proctored test. That was easy. This part I have to taste
The
it in
blind
front of.
tastings,
It's
knowing the
blind tasters in
vintages
front
and the
of
appellations and the
Master
ground.
Songs.
Yeah,
So I'm just
yeah.
gonna.
But before we finish, I promised Barbara Jean Maggart asked to be remembered to both of you.
Oh,
She'll be in
she's
her birthday in
wonderful.
February, but she wanted to make sure that you knew she was watching, and she sends her regards. and
Happy
love to
early
both of you.
birthday, and we hope
Happy
you're feeling
birthday.
well. And
So yeah,
Good.
I want a hug.
we.
As long as you're wearing purple. So
Oh, yes.
I will put my
She's-
purple
she
shirt on.
is-
every-
horns, yeah.
She's a VIP at Ben. So
all right. Yeah, without a doubt, you guys are all VIPs here. Good luck with the bodega.
Thank you. We're excited.
and you guys, thank you. This was absolutely amazing as always. Appreciate you guys partnering with the 904 Now. Such a wonderful, stay local, guys. There's no reason to shop anyplace else
Absolutely.
for Christmas. We gave you 4 great reasons why you needed to be at Ben 39 today. And thank you guys again.
You're so welcome.
And stay in the now.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.